James here from goodguitarist.com, and today I want to show you a simplified strumming version of Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. If you're interested in learning it the real way, like it is on the recording with all the cool licks and stuff, I already made a lesson for that. I'll put a link to that down below. But this is just for people who want to bypass all of that and, just strum and sing along and have a good time. If along the way you find that you need any extra help, I have a few resources. There's my free ebook that has all the basics in it. There's my complete beginner course, which does that, but 100 times over and just gets you step by step from the very, easiest stuff you can do on guitar all the way to being able to play through a song like this. And if you need help following along with the tune, I have a chart for this available on my Patreon, so I'll put a link for that down below as well. Anyways, let's just jump right in and get started with the chord shapes needed to play through the first section of the song. We're going to start with a G chord. And from there, we go to D over F sharp. Now that sounds complicated, but it's actually really simple. From our G chord, we're going to leave our third finger down, we lift everything else up, and then we place our fingers there. So my index goes on the second fret of the thickest string, skip, skip, second fret of the G string, sorry. So just try that, going from G to D over F sharp. Try it a few times. And the top string, I'm muting it with the underside of that finger. It's lightly touching, but even if it rings out, it doesn't ruin it. It still sounds pretty. It's still nice. From there, we go to E minor. And that's, once again, a simple switch. I'm just removing this finger, and then these two, I'm just, sucking them in so that they're on these two strings, A and D. Then E minor 7, which means we just have to put our pinky down on the third fret of the B string. And this is optional. You can just stick with the E minor there, but I like the voice leading. I like putting that there. Then there's a C chord. A regular D chord. Now before we move on, let's just take a minute and practice switching between those shapes. I'll go through them slowly one more time. G, D over F sharp, E minor, add a finger for E minor 7, then it's C, D, and G. So work on those a little bit, and when you're ready, we're going to play them using downstrokes only, but counting along just to make sure that we can switch with the rhythm. Starting off on G, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the intro, interlude, and outro. Like throughout the song, you just play that. There's no words. It's just like the instrumental break that we take between all the other sections. Now, to play the verse, we just take what we just learned and we change one thing about it. It starts off the same way. And here it's different. Instead of going to D and G, we go G, A minor, and then D. So we have a new shape there, A minor. And I recommend practicing going from G to A minor, and then from A minor to D, because those are the two chords surrounding that A minor shape. And once again, we're going to do that counting out loud, downstrokes only, just to, work through them rhythmically. 3, 4. So before we move on and learn the rest of the song, let's take some time to finish the verse. Let's add the strumming to it. The pattern that we're going to use goes like this. I'll do it a bit slower. 3 and 4 and. So that pattern is down, root, down, down, up. And root, we can just do a downstroke there. It doesn't really make a difference. But when I say root, what I mean is to just do like a little stroke that just kind of hits the root of the chord, you know, the foundation of it. Instead of the whole thing, just that. But you can just do a full downstroke. It's totally up to you. And to work on that pattern, we can just break it down. First starting off going down, root, 3, 4. Down, root, 3, 4. Just playing a G chord here. Just try it with me a couple times. Down, root, 3, 4. Down, root, 3, 4. And the second half is down, down, up. So a downstroke on beat 3 and then a down, up on beat 4. 1, 2, down, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, down, down, up. You know, take your time with each of those halves, and then when you're ready, we put it together. 3, 4. Down, root, down, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, root, down, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're having trouble with the pattern like this, I recommend taking a look at my beginner course because it is designed to help you develop that initial sense of rhythm. You know, down and up strokes, that's just what a guitar player does, but there's something deeper than that. There's like your internal sense of rhythm, and if you need help developing that, that's what that's all about. So I'll put a link to that down below. Anyways, now that we have our shapes, we have our pattern, let's put them together. We're gonna play through our intro and then do our verse a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 2 more sections to learn. The next one, we're gonna have a few new chord shapes for it. We need a B7 chord. And B7 is gonna be coming right after E minor. So we have to switch into it. And one thing that's always gotten me through with this shape is realizing that 2, 2, 2. So it's like the 2nd fret and then you skip a string, 2nd fret, skip a string, 2nd fret. I get that part down first. Then you just gotta plug that hole with your index finger. You know, so going from E minor to that, I recommend practicing it a little bit if you aren't familiar with B7. We also have a G7 chord. And for this one, it's just 2 fingers. Your first finger on the 1st fret of the 1st string, and then your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the thickest string. And it doesn't matter if you're muting that string, you actually want to mute it, so this one comes out pretty good. And there's a plain old E major chord. Once again, that's one of the basic shapes. Take a look in my free ebook if you're not familiar with that one. And I'm gonna strum it downstrokes only, nice and slow. You're welcome to play along with me, or you can just watch and see what's going on, just so we can get the chords in order the right amount of times. Starting off on E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, Cool, and when we add our strumming pattern to that, we're gonna do it 2 times per chord shape. So we're doing these chords for a little bit longer than before. So let's try that with the strumming pattern, 2 times per shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've done 3 sections of this. The only one we have left is the bridge, and the bridge is a little tricky. It changes keys. It's gonna require us to use some like cheater chords to avoid playing bar chords. It starts off with a B flat chord, and that usually means we have to play a bar chord, but I have a simplification here where we do this. And that kind of looks like a bar chord, but we're not barring anything. We're just pressing with our 4 fingers, just like any normal chord shape. And if you've tried learning the F chord, you'll recognize the shape because the F is also a bar chord. But we're just pressing the 6th fret of the thickest string, and then the 8th fret, 8th fret, 7th fret. You know, this is how I prepare my students to play bar chords. We just play this simplified, almost bar chord shape that requires the same position, but it doesn't require the strength. It doesn't require you to squeeze with that 1 finger and bar all the strings. You know, we just get those 4 strings, and then these 2, they're just gonna be muted because your finger is just resting on them a little bit. Eventually, once you get the strength, you're welcome to push down, get the whole thing, but for now, this is a great way to prepare for that. So that's our B flat. And then we're gonna go to F. And for that, we take the same shape and we just move it over, just push it over till our first finger is on the 1st fret. From there, we go to G minor, and for this one, I like to play it like that. So I have my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the thickest string, just like on a regular G chord. Then I skip a string, 3rd fret, 3rd fret. And in order to make it sound good, because if we just play it like that, it sounds cool. It's like really mysterious chord, but we want it to sound a bit plainer than that. So I just tilt my hand that way, and it's gonna mute the strings that I don't want. I end up with just and there's also gonna be a D minor chord in here at some point. You know, the bridge has as much stuff as the rest of the song. That's the one caveat. That's the one thing that kind of, you know, as I was like figuring out the simplified version, I was like, yes, this is gonna be so easy. And then I was like, oh damn, there's like no key that you can put it in, no way to completely get it so that it uses easy chords. But this is the best simplification, making a compromise between how it sounds and how easy it is to play. Anyways, those are all the shapes that we'll need for this. I'm gonna play through them downstrokes only, super slowly, to give you a chance to just see how this all goes down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it repeats itself. You know, we play through it once and then we play through it again with a bit of a different ending. So at least it has that in there. You know, there's not that much to learn, but there still are a few things in here. So I recommend taking your time with it, working through those shapes in order. I also recommend, since we kind of end on a G chord right before the bridge, and then we have to get into that B flat, I recommend trying that. So G, B flat. And when we add the strumming pattern to this, it's pretty much one time per chord, except about halfway through it, once we get to the D minor chord, the C and F right after it, we're just gonna do one downstroke on each one. So, and then we go back and repeat it again. So try that. C, F, and then back into that B flat chord. Otherwise, it is just, you know, one time per chord. So let's just try it. You can always, I want you to just watch it, see what's going on, you know, and then when you're comfortable, when you're ready, you can start trying to play along with it. Here we go. 3, 4. Alright, so that's each of the sections. Now let's practice putting it together. I'm gonna shorten it a little bit, make like a condensed version of this tune. We're gonna start off with the intro, go into the verse a couple times, then the chorus, then we'll do the interlude, which is the same as the intro, another verse, another chorus, and then we'll play the bridge, and then go back into a verse, and that'll be enough to have taken you through every single transition, and you'll feel exactly what the tune feels like when you play along with the whole thing. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. right, so that's how you strum through Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. If you want to play along to the original recording now, you have to get a capo and put it on the 2nd fret. You know, that'll just put it into the same key as the original recording. If you need any extra help with this, please check out my free ebook. There's my complete beginner's course. If you're interested in getting started with bar chords, I have a course, Barre Chords Made Easy, which helps you transition from, you know, just the basic chords into that whole world. You know, there's so much stuff that gets unlocked with bar chords. It's not just like 3 shapes. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with those shapes. And if you're interested in checking out the actual way to play Tears in Heaven, you know, like the finger style version of it, I have a lesson for that, which I'll put a link down below as well. So yeah, you know, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have fun practicing, and I'll see you soon.